today we are going to talk about how you can grow plants inside and some different options that you can take. So today we're going to talk about a way of growing plants in a liquid medium. So there's two different types of that. There's aquaponics and there's hydroponics. The main difference between the two is that aquaponics has fish and hydroponics doesn't. It's just a liquid medium that the plants will grow in. So they don't actually grow in any substrate like a soil or anything. They are growing in like the liquid medium. So what we have here is aquaponics set up. So as you can see, we have a 15-gallon fish tank and we have 3 little girl bettas in here, which they can live together happily and they won't kill each other like boy bettas. And when they live together in groups of more than one, they're called a sorority, which is very cool. So on top here we have a bunch of mint growing, and the way it's growing actually is we have a pump going from the bottom of the tank. You can't really see it because it's on the other side, but it takes water from the fish tank and it brings it up into our tub of mint, and that's how the plants get water and that's how they get nutrients and everything. And also this is our filter for our fish tank, so we don't have a filter in here. The filter is the plant roots. So what filters do is they take any kind of like organic media or like toxic substances that the fish make in the water, and the plants are capable of taking out that organic media and converting all of the toxic substances into things that the fish can use again. So it's this nice closed loop that's going on here. So right now we only have mint growing in this tub up here. We're looking at putting basil in here also. When we started this, we had basil and mint, but mint grows really fast, so the mint actually took over the basil, so we had to stop that temporarily. But we can look at some other plants and simple herbs that you can grow in an aquaponics setup. And it's very simple as long as you keep minimal sunlight. So there's a window behind me that keeps the mint happy and alive, but it's also a minimal amount of sunlight so we don't get algae growing in our fish tank, because that's a problem. One, because your water gets really cloudy and the fish can't breathe properly, and it doesn't look nice also because you have green algae floating in your fish tank, which is a problem. So let's go look at some other herbs that we are starting that we can also, that could be an option to put in your aquaponics system if you're interested in something like this. So up here we have this little mini greenhouse thing that we can start seeds in inside, where the seeds are much happier and it's a much more controlled environment. So over here we have some cold weather crops such as like cabbage and broccoli and kale. And on the other side is what I was talking about earlier. We have some basil that we are working on getting really strong so we can add it to the mint downstairs. So we can have 2 different kinds of herbs in our aquaponics setup. So some other plants that would be good for an aquaponics setup would usually be herbs. So behind me here, they're really tiny. We have some chamomile. We have 2 different types of lavender, and they're both really great things to grow. The chamomile would probably do better in an aquaponics setup than a lavender, probably. You would need more of a substrate to hold your lavender up instead of like less of a substrate as the herbs do, because lavender can get really big and really woody. We also have some peppers over here, and we have some rosemary. So if you are interested in setting up your very own aquaponics system with plants, you could do herbs like we have. You could do like peppers or cold weather crops, but the only thing with having like actual vegetables instead of herbs is that you would need like a bigger setup probably and more water to go through, because these are bigger plants and they require more nutrients because they are going to be bearing fruit. And if they don't have that right balance of nutrients, then either the fruit is going to be stunted, the growth of the plant will actually be stunted, and it might not bear any fruit. So if you are looking into that, you'll probably need a different kind of fish instead of bettas, because bettas are really small. And you would probably need a bigger tank, and a bigger setup on top. There are all kinds of great websites about aquaponics, and people do this on a really large scale also. And there are also a lot of great books. There are all kinds of ways to learn about how to do your aquaponics setup, what works for you. Everyone's is going to be a little bit different. If you guys have any questions about how to set up your very own aquaponics system, or like what kind of fish, what kind of plants, me and my sister have had our aquaponics system for about a year now, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very interesting, and it's really cool to be able to grow your own herbs that we use to cook with a lot. Even though we just have mint, it would be really nice to have mint and basil because we do a lot of things with both of those herbs. But if you guys have any questions about this, you guys can leave any comments if you want, and I can try to answer them. So thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. Happy Earth Day!